So after Paul Reubens died, I was really bummed, and I decided that the way to rectify the bumness was to draw the trick-or-treaters from The Nightmare Before Christmas, because he played Locke.
This was not an uncommon thing I saw on the interwebs.
I saw a lot of Pee Wee Herman, more than anything,
Yep.
but this is what I went to. Locke, Shock, and Barrel.
Yeah. You know, apparently the bout he was having with cancer was very private.
Yeah,
So-
it went on for years.
Yeah.
So, in his honor, did a little drawing. And I wanted them to be somewhere between my style and what they actually looked like in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think I got it. I don't know.
I think you did. I like that. That's all the end result.
Their proportions are so weird.
It's really good. I really like the colors you did too. It's like
Thank you.
everybody's gonna have to wait to see the colors because we're still in the line item. But
Yeah.
I've seen the colors.
And
Cheating. I looked ahead.
I think Shock looks the most different because I gave her a chin.
Now, for those who don't know, which one did he voice?
Locke. He was the devil one.
Ah.
Barrel, the skeleton one, was played by Danny Elfman.
I was gonna say.
And Catherine O'Hara played the witch one. Shock.
Lovely.
And
Now, you had come across lore
I
about
did.
Oogie Boogie and Boogie's Boys.
Well, about specifically just Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
I still don't know how he wound up with them as like his little private gang.
We had discussed it because what was it that you said? Because he wasn't from Halloween Town.
Yeah, so there was a video game that I had played that was a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's Oogie's Revenge. And then there was also a prequel game, and that one, I think it's just called The Pumpkin King. And that one tells the story of how he met Oogie Boogie, and why he effectively banished Oogie Boogie. And the idea is that Oogie came from someplace else, where it was like Bugland or Bugtown or something bug-related, and he was the leader. He was effectively the Jack Skellington of the place. And when no one was celebrating that holiday anymore, might just be Bug Day. I don't know. The
International
tree,
Insect Day.
yeah, the tree went away, the door went away. And so before his world completely collapsed and disappeared, he escaped. And he escaped to Halloween Town and tried to take it over and failed. So that's the lore of Oogie Boogie. I don't know how he wound up with the three of them.
In the movie, they seem to be both like his compatriots and wardens.
A little bit.
Like they seem to take a sick pleasure in like throwing things into his cage.
Yeah, but they're almost taking care of him too.
Yeah.
But they're also a little afraid of him.
Yeah.
Because they say if I was on his list, I'd get out of town. But they still do what Jack says too, so they're not just, they don't only listen to it.
They don't let him out.
Right. So that is interesting.
But like I remember at the end, they were just like, "Oh, dude, Santa Claus is down here. Who would have thought you put him down there?
Yeah.
You put him down there. You against explicit instructions. You put him down there."
They're the trick-or-treaters.
That's quite a trick they pulled.
And they're the best trick-or-treaters, which sort of implies that there's other trick-or-treaters. But, yeah, so they're very human, but then in costume, and they're the only ones who are kind of in costume. And,
So are they so good they ended up trick-or-treating in Halloween Town and just got to hang out Peter Pan style?
I don't know. I don't know what their story is.
Because she dressed up as a witch, but there are actual witches.
There are. And I will say, they are based on that one Twilight Zone episode, I think it's just called The Masks, where everyone is wearing masks based on the 7 Deadly Sins. And at midnight, they take off the masks, and their faces have molded to the masks, and they look like the mask now. So the three of them are actually based on a Twilight Zone episode, which I think is neat.
That is neat.
But I had some issues with Shock, because I don't like the way cartoon witches are often portrayed, because I'm Jewish, and I know the connection there, and I don't like it. And somehow the witches don't bother me so much because they're like, that's what the monster looks like. They're not people dressing up that way, they just happen to have those noses and be green. So like, I accept that. Whereas Shock being basically a kid in a costume, it bothers me. So I was torn between changing her design more and making her look more like the actual character. So I do change her nose later on to make it more like the character. Because I realized that by making her nose really small, I'm still doing an anti-Semitic, just in a different direction. And I didn't want to do that. So I do change her later. after I've colored her face.
Yeah. I really like the way you toned all the faces, the shading and everything.
Thank you very much. I was thinking of them all in terms of like warm and cool, and still trying to be in their general idea of what the colors actually are for their designs. But even if you look at like official merch, it always changes.
Yeah.
And it might
whatever
just,
it needs to be.
Yeah, and it might also be because the scenes they're in are mostly pretty dark. You very rarely see them like in direct sunlight.
It is a very dark movie, just like
It is.
Like tonally, everything's very shadowy, which I'm sure saved them some money on all the anime and everything, because it's also a very intricately made movie.
That's true. Although there are some characters who do have a lot of detail, and yet they're not really in it at all. Like the gatekeeper, who looks kind of like a bird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has any lines. And there's also a Grim Reaper and like a red-headed witch with an apple at one point.
364!
See, he gets lines.
He got one line.
No, he also sings.
Oh, he sang one, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, there are some characters that, a lot of designs that I don't even remember. And I saw something recently about all the different monster designs, and I realized that there are some that I've never noticed, despite seeing in this movie 10,000 times. There are some characters I never noticed are just standing there. They were made just for, like, crowd scenes.
I'm sure at this point there's, like, HD releases so you can, like, see everything.
Probably.
Like, whereas, like, most of the time I saw it was on old CRT monitors, probably, it's like televisions, probably, like, 24 inches, 32 inches.
We do have the special edition. I got to see it when it was out in 3D. So that was kind of cool to see it in theaters as an adult.
That'd be neat. With the,
you can see the thumbprints on things.
That is so neat.
It was really cool.
Look at that. Look at how magnificent that is.
This is my lock, shock, and barrel. And I do like that I changed her nose back.
Yeah.
It's just a little closer to what it is in the thing, but not quite. It's still my style.
It's very nice. I think this should be stickers. This might have to be, well, a t-shirt will like probably get taken down. But we can do stickers.
We can do something.
Yeah.
I wanted them to be recognizable, but not directly
direct.
So, rock on.
Rock on.